For many years, he was the best player never to win a bracelet.
Once again, he tries to remove the title of best to never win a bracelet.
Then he was the best player never to cash in the main event.
A stellar year, but another short stay at the main event for Lindgren.
This year, Eric Lindgren is quieting the critics as he makes his bid for the November 9.
Excited. Well, I believe this was my 10th main event. I had never made day 3 before.
He may be in unfamiliar territory, but Lindgren knows he is so close to turning his first main event cash into a seat at the final table.
You want to be the champ? It's a dream I've had since 1995 to win the main event.
With the field whittled down to 90 players, it's time to ask, is this Eric Lindgren's year?
Hallelujah.
Welcome back to the Rio for Day 6 coverage of the World Series of Poker main event presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. 6,865 players started this main event odyssey, and we're now down in double digits. The talented Alan Cunningham still has a seat.
Why shouldn't he still have a seat? He's Alan Cunningham.
Tony Hashem trying to do what his brother Joe did in 05, win it all.
Wow, so poker could have its own version of Peyton and Eli Manning.
Ben Lamb still among the leaders.
If Ben Lamb has a brother, I'm hoping he doesn't play poker.
And with 90 players remaining, there's the chip leader, 26-year-old Phil Collins.
I can see it coming in the air tonight, Lon.
No leaderboard is complete at the main event without a Ben Lamb sighting. He is in second. Collins is in first. Americans make up the top 5 spots. Before this level started, Kara Scott caught up with Eric Lindgren.
Eric is a very patient man. I caught him mid-tweet, and he's going to talk to us. You've had an incredible comeback this tournament. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I started day 2 with 3,700, so I was super short and kind of fought back. And then today I only had 492, and now I've got like 2.8, so I'm wildly excited.
And coming up to the feature table now as well. What's your table like?
You know, I've been waiting all summer to play with this Ben Lamb character now. So it'll be exciting. I think we each know where we are in hands, so it'll be a better barometer than a lot of these guys that I've never met or played with before. So I'm excited to play with Ben, and we'll see how it goes.
I see you have the golf hat on. How's your golf game these days?
Yeah, I'm always working on the golf game. Anxious for this to be over, hopefully final 9, and then I can get out of the golf course.
Good luck out there. Thank you.
Thanks, Kara.
You'll see Eric's name in the 4th spot. He is 4th in chips at the feature table, but he's got position on the big stack, Ben Lamb, who will be directly to his right. Matt Salzberg is a Hollywood producer with just over 1 million chips. We'll keep our eye on him and all the remaining 90 players.
And we should keep our eye on John Paul Kelly at this feature table. British pro J.P. Kelly. He's got 2 bracelets, and he's got a ton of talent.
He's on the button. The blinds at 20 and 40,000 with a 5,000 chip ante. The current payout just over $76,000.
Day 6 is a grind, Lon. You're exhausted, and you think the November 9 is close, but you really can't taste it yet. Too much poker left.
$8.7 million to our champion come November. Almost 206 million chips in play. J.P. Kelly has over 4.3 million of them. He folds his button to the small blind, Brian Yoon with pocket 4s, and he raises to 100,000. Ben Lamb in the big blind with 10-8 off. And Lamb will call for 60,000 more. And here's the flop, heads up. Jack 6-9. Yoon still has the best hand, but not favored. Lamb with an up and down straight draw and 2 overs to Yoon's pocket pair. 110,000 from Yoon.
Standard continuation bet from Yoon. That might trigger the standard I'm Ben Lamb and you're not semi-bluff raise.
We have seen Ben Lamb do that a lot. He has been very successful with that, and here it comes, a raise to 305,000.
Brian Yoon, say hello to Ben Lamb.
And say goodbye to his cards. And Lamb will collect another pot.
Pot seems so much smaller without yellow chips. I don't even want this pot.
That's how Ben Lamb runs. When he has a draw, they fold. When he has the goods, they call.
Tonight, we get an up-close and personal look at two of the biggest stories of the 2011 main event. Eric Lindgren was down to just 3,700 chips at the end of day one, and here he is on day 6, back in the hunt. To Eric's right is Ben Lamb, who was on the World Series heater of a lifetime. From day one, Norman, he's been in total command, winning pots and doing it with a smile.
It's hard to choose between Eric Lindgren and Ben Lamb. One was Player of the Year in 08, the other might be Player of the Year in 2011. Lindgren is as well-respected and well-liked as anyone in the poker community. I love the guy, even though I'm not sure he loves me back. Lamb, meanwhile, is sort of a younger version of Lindgren, great player, and like E-Dog, he's got a million friends who root for him. I guess if they get in a pot together, I'll hope they chop it.
Lamb has been chopping up all comers since the World Series began. Lindgren has just 26,000 in cashes in addition to this main event. Ben mentioned the pot looks smaller. That's because the yellow chips worth 1,000 are no longer needed. We still have the orange and greens, but the new purple chip in play worth 100,000. At an outer table on the left, one-time chip leader Daryl Jace all in for his last 325,000 with ace-5 of diamonds. On the right with ace-king, John Hewitt going for the knockout. Here's the flop, and Hewitt hits kings up.
Well, I asked him to shave, I told him to shave, I implored him to shave, and look what's happened to Daryl Jace. 5% chance of survival now.
All right, looking for help. The turn card brings it, a flush draw for Jace.
Well, so now the unshaven Jace can stay alive with any diamond other than the king.
The river card is an ace, and that's the last river card Daryl Jace will see at this World Series. He finished in the top 200 in 2009. Here in the 2011 main event, Daryl Jace finishes in 89th place.
Bad news travels fast. Jace texting his barber to tell him he's on his way.
Hewitt over 4 million. Nearby, Claudia Crawford open raised with King Jack to 85,000. Action now to Ryan Linehan with the glasses and beard. This New Orleans poker pro holds ace king, and he 3-bets it to 265,000 from the big blind.
Crawford has gotten herself here with aggression, but she has gotten herself in trouble at times with aggression.
Born in North Dakota, raised in Alabama, lives in Mississippi, and she makes the call.
Yeah, she's a 26-year-old pro now living in Biloxi. She'll see a flop.
Linehan starting the hand with over 6 million, born in Alabama, lives now in New Orleans. And these two will see a flop. 5 deuce queen, neither pairs up. Linehan still best with ace king.
Linehan rented a house with 13 friends this summer in Las Vegas during the World Series. One of his housemates, David Diaz, won a bracelet.
Linehan, first to act, and has chips in hand. 360,000.
Crawford also got no piece of that flop, but she's not backing down yet.
We have not seen her back down unless she is really pushed to the wall. And here is a raise now from Crawford to 760,000.
1 million.
Linehan putting his left hand up to steady his neck. According to Joe Navarro, that is a sign of weakness.
He is not paired up, but he has the bigger stack and puts Crawford all in. And she quickly folds.
I guess pushing all in is usually a sign of strength.
Strength, yeah.
Nice play by Linehan.
So Ryan Linehan with a wry smile takes a bunch of Crawford's chips. He's up to 7.3 million.
We have 3 queens.
We saw Claudia get into a pre-flop raising war and lose against Pius Hines on day 5 when neither had anything. Here again, she had the right idea, but had to yield to Ryan Linehan.
There's poker pro Frank Sinopoli at another table. He's all in with pocket kings against Nelson Robinson, who woke up with aces. There's the flop, queen trace 6. Nothing there for Sinopoli.
Sinopoli, a 39-year-old from Hollywood, Florida. Robinson, a 25-year-old from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
He's going to put the king of clubs down right now.
Turn card now. Now half right. It's the 9 of clubs. Sinopoli down to his last chance.
I'm not sure if we see more players go all in and bust with pocket kings or ace king. It's close. Sinopoli needs a king.
The river card, and there it is!
Yeah! That's the one time we're there, baby! Yeah! That's the one time when we're looking for one time, baby!
Sinopoli finds new life with the bad beat.
If there's an international body that governs poker, all one time should be recorded and everyone should get 1. That's Frankie Sinopoli's 1.
Robinson loses with aces.
That was my only one time in the tournament.
Sometimes one time is all it takes to get the ball rolling.
I knew it was coming, though.
Eric Lindgren cracked the bracelet seal in 2008.
I'll give you all that just to quit.
Ray's all in.
I go.
And there it is. Eric Lindgren with the strike. He's nodding his head. He is a World Series of Poker champion. He's got his bracelet. That was the scene 3 years ago. Eric Lindgren defeating Justin Bonomo in the $5,000 mixed hold'em event.
In 2006, Lindgren lost heads up to Jeff Madsen here at the World Series. Madsen went on to be Player of the Year, and Eric had to wait until 2008 for his first bracelet.
Back to our featured table, J.P. Kelly lays down his hand, folded over to Ben Lamb with ace-9 off. He has 8 million chips now, a raise to 90,000. Lindgren with ace-king of spades.
That's ace-king suited, Lon.
And with that hand, just a call to Mike DiGilio from Port St. Lucie, Florida, on the button with king-10 off.
I've been to Port St. Lucie twice, Lon. Do not recall either visit.
DiGilio has almost tripled his stack on this day. He has just over 2 million and announces himself to these two bracelet winners with a raise to 245,000. Salzburg gives up his suited 9-6. So back now to Ben Lamb.
DiGilio trying for the squeeze play here. Figures Lamb raised light. Maybe Lindgren called with a marginal hand, and maybe DiGilio can steal this baby.
Lamb is the one caught in the vice in the middle.
Well, he did raise light.
And he was the original raiser and does drop out. Now to Lindgren with the suited ace-king.
How much do you have?
Started with 2.1 minus the blinds.
Lindgren, as he mentioned, played the ace-king with a different strategy, and because he played it that way, this opened the door for DiGilio to 3-bet, but it might be the wrong door.
Raise to 680.
There you go. Lindgren fires back with a 4-bet to 680,000.
Yeah, E-Dog might have figured out the squeeze play, and DiGilio might be the one squeezed out of here.
And DiGilio with some bad timing there. And he folds.
Glad me with the 10s over there.
I think I'm crazy enough to re-raise the 2 10s there.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
Uncontested chips are always the best chips.
Harry, my man.
Eric springs the trap and takes the pot. This past summer, he sprung the question and won something else.
Eric Lindgren. My nickname is E-Dog, and I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. 2 days before the World Series started, I got married to the former Erica Schoenberg, and then we popped right out here and played the 25K event 2 days later. I have a baby boy on the way, so super excited. He should be playing poker by about age 3.
I text the wife.
It's a huge lifestyle change, deciding whether to stay in Vegas, maybe move to California. Don't really know, but just very, very ready to be a dad.
Eric's boy will be the only 3-year-old poker-playing, golf-playing fantasy owner west of the Mississippi.
Eric's friend Alan Cunningham was at risk trying to outlast Canadian Marc-Andre Ledoucier on Alan's right.
There's no way he can hold again. I'll get back to where I was after I won the last time.
Alan racing with his pocket 4s. Ledoucier picks up a double belly buster.
It's way better than an ace or a queen.
Pocket 4s in a lot of danger, though. Cunningham now an underdog to survive.
Turn card, 6 of clubs. Cunningham fades trouble so far.
Now, a pair, or anything under it. Hey.
River card, 5 of diamonds, and Cunningham survives with the 4s.
Those giving us races, or else I would have been out of this tournament a long time ago.
How did he just dodge 14 outs 2 times? He's Alan Cunningham. Jeez, go, my man.
But Cunningham with a lot of work to do, sitting with just 1.1 million chips. 86 players are left. The next pay bump comes with 81 players remaining. Swedish pro Per Lend on the right with pocket 10s is facing about a 465,000 from Israeli pro Guy Gorilik holding pocket kings. The flop came all undercards to both of their hands. Lind has a 2nd place on the EPT and a 3rd place on the WPT.
All in.
And announces all in. He's got the bigger stack. Now what to do for Gorilik?
What does Joe Navarre say about holding your head in your hands?
Scared.
What does Joe Navarre say about mumbling to yourself? What does Joe Navarre say about slumping back in your chair and looking skyward? And what does Joe Navarre say about shaking your head?
Gorilik folds and shows his kings. Lynn responds by revealing one of his cards.
To recap, Gorilich folded the better hand. He showed it. His opponent then showed his inferior hand, and it was all on TV. Ouch.
Linda almost up to $5 million now. Gorilich, after folding the kings, drops to about $1.5 million, and he will carry that nasty vision with him a long time. Over now to Russian pro Alexander Moznikov, sitting with ace-7 suited and 5 times the chip stack of Belize's Bob Bunara, who pushed all in pre-flop with ace-king off.
The last time we saw Bunara, he flopped a straight with 8-7 all in and beat kings.
Moznikov says all in will translate to call to put Bunara at risk.
Well, the last time we saw Moznikov, he busted Cyril Mitzi on a bad beat.
So Bunara way ahead, dominating Moznikov. Bunara at risk.
He generally does not like to watch the board when he's all in.
And here is the flop, and kings up for Bunara. Another great flop for him. Oh, and he's got an overzealous rail.
Moznikov now would need running 7s to knock out Bunara.
The turn card, an 8 of diamonds. Bunara will double up.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, Russia. Give up them chips. Yeah. Don't mess with Belize, Russia.
Don't mess with Belize, Russia? Is that a new t-shirt?
A7. A7.
Ace king.
A7.
Easy.
Oh. A7.
We're playing poker.
My God, you play a disgusting hand, eh?
Moznikov handling the peanut gallery the right way.
He provides the double up for Bunara.
Sorry. He's talking out of place. Kick him out.
I'm glad for double up.
I'm talking to you.
Double, Belize.
Belize is still in the game. Back inside the Amazon room, Lon McCarron with Norman Chad and Kara Scott. At an outer table, Claudia Crawford has her last $1 million chips in the pot.
Good call.
She's open-ended, but Guillaume Dark Horse pocket 7s can knock her out.
Okay, I need an 8, a queen, a jack, or a king.
4 and 6.
All right, running 9, 10, whatever. It's fine. All right, I'm just gonna sit down. I'm gonna hit this.
Well, she's sitting down like she's going to stick around. She is the favorite.
Turn card 5 of hearts does nothing for Crawford's chances.
And Crawford now a 2-to-1 dog to stick around. Dark Horse needs to dodge a king, queen, jack, or 8 to knock her out.
You're torturing me here.
The river card. Another 5. Claudia Crawford sent to the exit door by Guillaume Dark Horse pocket pair.
Nice playing. Good call.
She was aggressive and impressive. Great run by Claudia Crawford.
Dark Horse over $5 million now. Crawford out in 85th place.
I shipped it all in and he called it 2 7s. I know, I got my money in good. I'm fine with it. I couldn't bet and him, just call and then only have a little bit left to bet the turn.
The turn would be weird. So
I just have to shove it. I got 950,000 to pick up 400,000.
You gotta learn to run better.
I'm the national player.
You went pretty deep, though. Congratulations.
Okay.
So with Crawford's departure, 2 women are left in the main event. Amanda Musumeci.
East Coast bred, but mostly in Las Vegas now. Amanda has had a lot of online success.
And Erica Motino.
Another East Coast transplant to Las Vegas. Very little live experience, but she does have some online results.
And she is sitting in seat 1 at our featured table just to the dealer's left. With pocket jacks, Brian Yoon opens for $90,000 under the gun, folded over to Eric Lindgren. And Eric has the Jack Links beef jerky wild card hand.
On 1 for 3 in marriages, 8 for 20 this year in the wild card hand, so I'm actually a little better on wild card hands.
Not doing too badly in either realm, actually.
Well, Eric generally likes to see a lot of flops and play small ball.
And Eric will re-raise, though, to $220,000.
He's under the gun +2. I'm going to put Eric on ace-king, but playing it differently than he did last time, this time with the 3-bet.
Yeah, Eric was a little sly playing the ace-king last time. Folded over to J.P. Kelly in the big blind. He lays it down. So the re-raise back to Brian Yoon, the UCLA senior-to-be.
How much you start with there?
2.8-ish.
2.8-ish.
What do you got?
I cover. Like 3.3 or so, 3.2.
Eric says the only time he ever was dead broke, he was 21 years old, working as a prop at Casino San Pablo in Northern California. He borrowed $500, lived in a hotel for 3 weeks, and made the money last.
Yoon will come along for $130,000 more.
Lindgren grew up in Bernie, California. Yoon in Torrance, California.
All right, so heads up, flop between the pocket jacks and the wild card hand. King 7 deuce, no improvement to Yoon's jacks, but he hates to see the king out there, no doubt. He checks.
Lindgren likely would keep firing here with any of his possible hands. It feels like ace-king, top pair, top kicker to me.
260,000 is the bet from Eric Lindgren.
Yoon, the original pre-flop raiser under the gun.
And then called Eric Lindgren's 3-bet. And now Yoon with the check call.
Well, Yoon will call with pocket jacks and trust his read. If I were 21, I wouldn't trust my read unless I was Sigmund Freud.
All right, the turn card. Tray of diamonds gives Yoon a flush draw.
And Yoon stuck with non-refundable pocket jacks.
Not true. He checks again.
So Eric still with top pair or bottom pair or flush now or pocket tens. My guess is E. He has a baby boy on the way.
Well, we know you're right about that.
550.
And there is the bet of 550,000 from Eric.
I'm not going to lie to you, Lon. I'm sticking with ace-king. But if my life depended on me being right in this spot, something tells me I'd be dead real soon.
Yoon with the jacks and a flush draw.
That's a tricky spot for Yoon. Pocket jacks are tricky. He doesn't even get multiple choice to look at.
Brian Yoon lays down his hand. Eric Lindgren with ace deuce to win the Jack Links Beef Jerky wild card hand.
Eric Lindgren's a bluffing father-to-be. I should have known. Hang another L in my locker.
A gain of nearly 600 grand for Lindgren, thanks mostly to Brian Yoon. As Yoon drops to about 2.9 million. For more on the World Series of Poker, visit ESPN.com/poker. Going over to the secondary table now, Brazil's Hilton Laborda has the biggest stack there. Pius Hines with about 2.9 million. Jean-Robert Ballon with over 1.1 million, but his stack not as impressive as it once was.
Jean-Robert needs a shot of Jean-Robert.
Yeah, look at him with his head in his hand. All right, action beginning on Ballon. 6-5 off into the muck to Jared Vengren, a poker pro, spending a lot of time in Canada to play online poker. It's a long way from his Texas home. Pocket nines.
He's got a political science degree from Concordia University in Montreal. I believe they are the Thundering Herd.
He'll open raise to 90,000. Trey Wing lays it down to Hilton Laborda with ace-jack offsuit.
I wonder how he would look wearing shower curtains.
He has made a splash with his sartorial choice. He makes the call. Alex Moore lays down his button in the small blind. Paul Spitzberg.
Someone give Paul Spitzberg a hand. I want to see him win. He's a nice man.
Nope, not that time. Hines in the big blind, Queen 7, and he will sit this one out. So heads up, Vengren and Laborda. Flop now. Jack 5-8. Laborda takes the lead with a pair of jacks. Vengren checks.
This is Laborda's first World Series. He plays cash games in Brazil.
He won a seat to the World Series main event last year, but did not make the trip. He bets 130,000.
Vengren very close with his older brother Matt, who has made 3 World Series final tables.
Vengren with the pocket nines with the call.
Look at all the shades at that end of the table. Very sunny down yonder.
The turn card is an ace of spades. Laborda improves to aces up. Now Vengren with 85,000. Not sure what that bet sizing means.
Maybe representing a flush, but that's curious. He had checked the flop, and that's an inexplicable tiny bet on the turn.
And a tiny call. Jack of spades on the river. Laborda got better with every street. That gives him jacks full.
But here comes Vengren.
And Vengren with a lot of the orange chips. That totals 205,000.
Geez, what is Vengren representing here? I believe he's representing insanity.
He may be. And Laborda's just fine with that as he raises to a cool $1 million. And Vengren gives it up quickly. Sometimes ace-jack works great.
Give Brazil credit. They travel well.
Thank goodness they did not bring any vuvuzelas. 81 players remaining, the average stack over 2.5 million. At an outer table, the downtrodden face of Pablo Ubierna, who is all in with pocket fives, only to discover he's dominated by the tens of Brian Devonshire.
Pair over pair is the way you get healthy and wealthy in No Limit Hold'em.
And here is the flop. And there's a 5 for Ubierna. He got exactly what he was looking for.
Devo crushed, asking for a 6 to help chop the pot. Ubierna has that "it ain't over till it's over" look.
The Spanish poker pro sees the deuce of hearts. He's still good. Devo needs some help quickly.
Devo still in search of a 10 to knock out Ubierna.
The river card. It's the 10! Yeah! Devonshire takes it. Ubierna eliminated from the main event.
The local pro rallies back to send the Spanish pro home.
81st place, worth over $90,000. Devo unlucky on the flop, but the rafting guide bounced back on the river, and he didn't even need his one time. Welcome back to Las Vegas. You are watching the World Series of Poker presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Just 9 tables remain to an outer table. Former University of Texas student Matt Giannetti was dealt 2 beautiful kings, saw a flop of 2 trays and a jack with Guillaume Darcourt, who holds queen 7 of hearts. Darcourt just bluffed raise Giannetti and may get spanked here. Giannetti with a re-raise to 610,000.
Darcourt got frisky with Squadouche, and Giannetti's re-raise should shut down Darcourt's illusions of bluffing grandeur.
Darcourt posturing a bit here, and finally does lay it down. Giannetti will take that pot.
Matt Giannetti, silent and steady.
Well, Darcourt gave up a few chips, but you see his day 6 has been very productive. He still sits with 4.8 million. Giannetti began day 5 with only 114,000. Now here on day 6, over 2.3 million. To our secondary feature table where Jean-Robert Ballon sits. He has bettered last year's finish already.
But Jean-Robert right now looking to restart his engine.
All right, action will begin on Sebastian Rutenberg on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky hole cam. Ace King off. 27-year-old German lives in London now. A raise to 85,000. Pocket queens for fellow German Pius Heinz.
2 of the notoriously aggressive players here. Each picks up a hand.
Heinz, 22, born in Cologne, now lives in Austria. And re-raises to 235. Ballon folds to Vengren now. Vengren with pocket 4s.
I'm all in.
And Vengren re-raises all in, over $1.2 million.
Ooh, Vengren stepping into the tall grass here, and I don't think he's going to see his way out.
Laborda folds. Folded back now to Rutenberg, the original raiser with ace king.
Best case for Vengren here is Rutenberg calls and Heinz folds, but that seems unlikely. I like Rutenberg's jawline.
I'm all in.
Rutenberg now raises Heinz all in. Rutenberg the biggest stack of these 3.
This is not an automatic call or fold for Heinz. This is a decision for all his chips. Of course, he's more worried about Rutenberg than Vengren. Rutenberg has him covered. Heinz has got to wonder, could he have aces or kings?
Vengren just a sideshow to this drama.
I call.
Heinz calls all in.
Wow. I'm in trouble.
Rutenberg can knock out 2 players if he can catch a card.
I thought that's what it was.
Schaffst du Jacks? Du schaffst Jacks und Tens, denke ich mal, oder? Du schaffst Jacks und Tens, oder?
Tens auf jeden Fall nicht. Jacks. I was so hoping he folded his pair and it was up against ace king. Close. Na, ich mach's auf jeden Fall lieber mit der Hand als mit Jacks.
Rutenberg stands to lose 2/3 of his chips, but if he can hit an ace or a king, Rutenberg would knock out both Vengren and Heinz.
Vengren can be knocked out by either German player. All right, the flop, 10 jack, 6 rainbow. Heinz still ahead. Rutenberg still with a chance for the double knockout.
Heinz poised for a big double up and then some. Rutenberg now with 8 outs, ace, king, or queen. Vengren with only 2 outs. He's got to have a 4 on the turn or the river.
The turn card. Tray of clubs, no change. Hines still leads with the queens. Vengren thought it was a 4 for a second.
Yes, status quo. Vengren and Rutenberg still trying to hit an out. Hines will be rolling in chips or out of chips.
The river card is a blank. Jared Vengren eliminated from the main event. Hines more than doubles his stack. He's over $7 million.
One three-way all-in changes the landscape in a hurry.
Hines with a well-deserved smile on his face. Rutenberg cut to fewer than 1.7 million. 65% of his chip stack going to his fellow German pro. 24-year-old Jared Vengren with far and away his biggest tournament payday, over $90,000.
Wow, what a sick double up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. So close.
Sometimes the big moments just erupt.
I'm all in. I'm all in. I call.
Wow! Hines with the win. He's got a lot of new ammunition to work with. Welcome back to Las Vegas. Not too long ago, the starting stacks were 30,000 chips per player. Now we're seeing pots of over 7 million chips. No time to sit and relax here on day 6. The remaining 72 players just got a raise. It's a 6-figure payout now, over $108,000. JP Kelly, who says his goal is to have 100 big blinds at any point in the tournament with pocket jacks, and mission accomplished. He raised to 100,000. Folded now over to Eric Lindgren, 6-5 of diamonds.
When he was working at Casino San Pablo as a prop, playing 15-30 limit hold'em, Lindgren one night was killing this one guy who finally said to him, you dog. And that became E-Dog.
There you go. And you see E-Dog's new card protector, his left hand with a wedding ring. 6-5 of diamonds, and with Kelly already raising, a re-raise to 250 for Lindgren.
I mentioned earlier that E-Dog likes to see a lot of flops and play small ball, but perhaps I'm remembering him as a single guy. He's a wild and crazy married fella now.
Mozhnikov and Guy Gorilik at the move here. Gorilik with 9s, and he folds them.
Maybe he's still hurting from laying down those pocket kings earlier.
I guess so. So now folded back to Kelly. Lindgren with a re-raise to 250.
Kelly with pocket jacks. He may as well muck him right now, Lon.
I agree, but he calls.
I'm impressed with Eric. He's been married several weeks now, and he's yet to bet his wedding ring.
All right, heads up, a 2-time bracelet winner and a 1-time bracelet winner. The flop, 10 deuce king, 1 overcard to Kelly's pocket jacks, and he checks.
We saw Brian Yoon in that spot earlier. Pocket jacks out of position. It's very uncomfortable.
Lindgren missed the flop and checks. Turn card. Queen of diamonds. Kelly adds an up and down straight draw. Lindgren with a flush draw now. Kelly checks again.
I thought he might fire there. Baby needs new shoes. Maybe Eric wants to bluff at it.
Well, oftentimes a couple of checks into Lindgren is an invitation to bet. And he does bet 350,000.
Lindgren uncomfortable making a play on the flop, but picking up a draw on the turn. He makes the semi-bluff and hopes he can take the pot down.
Ooh, Kelly reaching for the purple chips worth 100 grand each. And here is the check raise to 900,000.
Wow. I thought Kelly might call there, hoping his jacks might be good or hoping to hit the straight. But that's how dull minds like me think. Kelly with a smarter plan.
Lindgren with nothing but a draw. How badly does he want to see the river? He's not getting the right price to call.
Now, frankly, I think this is a reluctant but standard laydown for Eric Lindgren. He's on the flush draw.
Certainly Kelly no stranger to Eric Lindgren, so these two know each other pretty well, and Eric does lay it down.
2 bracelets are better than 1. Kelly gets the better of Eric Lindgren there.
Well, a check raise is often a showstopper. Kelly happy to win it right there against Lindgren. A lot going on in that hand. For a breakdown on what we just saw, let's check in with Phil Galfond for some pro analysis.
In this hand, Eric Lindgren 3-bets in position with 6-5 suited and gets called by JP Kelly. Eric decides to check back the King-10 deuce flop, and I think in doing so represents a hand like Ace-Queen or maybe King-X. On the turn, he decides to bet on the Queen of Diamonds, and I think it's a spot where JP Kelly, had he not picked up an open-ender, would have folded a lot of hands here. But he does have the open-ender, and rather than calling, he decides to check raise. I think this play is great. I believe it makes Eric fold a king, fold ace-queen, and obviously fold a flush draw that he doesn't have odds to call with. I think the moral is to play your draws aggressively. It gives you two ways to win. You can either hit your draw or you can pick up the pot right there if your opponent folds.
I'm crossing J.P. Kelly off my home game list. Eric can still come if he brings beer.
So J.P. Kelly getting the best of Eric Lindgren on that hand at the featured table. You see the payout, over $108,000. Only 6 outer tables remain now. Nicholas Fierro is at risk at one of them, holding ace-queen. Greg Kaplan with king-jack needs to improve to eliminate Fierro.
Kaplan does not have Fierro covered by much.
Here's the flop. 7-7-10, ace-queen still ahead for Fierro.
Kaplan, a 24-year-old Chicago pro. He wanted to say, hi, Mom. Fierro, a 29-year-old pro from Santiago, Chile, with 1 World Series final table to his credit.
Turn card is a 9. Kaplan picks up a double gutter.
So Fierro now must fade a queen, 8, king, or jack.
The river is a tray, and Fierro will double up.
Kaplan crippled.
Left with crumbs, just $150,000.
Boy, Chile's a long way from here, but Fierro's got a rail.
He doubles, but still well short of the chip average, but he's still in the game. Players are forced to take stands with short stacks and hope for the best. It's a gut-wrenching decision that worked out for Fierro that time, and he remains one of the lucky few in the main event. In 2010, Matt Jarvis made his first World Series final table, and it was a big one. The November Niner earned over $1 million, but fell short of the main event bracelet. This year, Jarvis made his second final table and would not fall short again. Capturing the bracelet in the $5,000 six-handed no-limit hold'em event.
You dream about this moment ever since you start playing poker.
Repeating last year's final table proved difficult for all of the November Niners. Only Joseph Chung made the money, and just 2 players made it past day 2.
The last player to make back-to-back main event final tables, Dan Harrington in 2003 and 4. What an accomplishment. He was 3rd and 4th against large fields.
Here in 2011, 70 players remain. The average stack approaching 3 million. The current chip leader, Phil Collins, on the prowl again. He just flopped a flush draw against the pocket sixes of Brazilian Fabio Souza. Collins bet $155,000. Souza with a call.
Phil Collins still looks like the chip leader.
All right, so here we go to the turn. Ace of diamonds. Collins adds a wheel draw to his flush draw and has first crack at betting that ace.
And the Phil Collins, Ben Lamb School of Big Stack Aggression says, I will continue to pound you.
$265,000 from the chip leader.
Souza, the other Brazilian fella, still in the main event field. He seems to sense something is up here.
Pocket six is so tough to play. Ace and a queen on board. And he does lay it down. And Phil Collins will stack more chips.
Day 6 continues to be a Phil Collins celebration.
Souza with little choice with the pocket sixes, down to 1.1 million now. Collins approaching 8.3 million as the chip leader stack grows larger. All right, we'll go back over the secondary table. We saw Jared Vengren knocked out in a wildly entertaining hand. His seat taken by Canadian pro Tyler Bonkowski.
Very nice.
Bonkowski with ace-king off.
He won his first bracelet this year. Says he learned to play by reading Phil Hellmuth's book. Nobody admits to that.
From the button, he raises to 95,000 in the small blind Tree Wing.
Still working undercover.
He lays it down to Hilton Laborda in the big blind. Laborda peaks at 5 tray of spades on the Jack Links beef jerky hole cam.
Laborda has a very low strike zone.
The Brazilian businessman calls for 55,000 more. He'll go heads up against Bonkowski. The flop, ace 10 deuce. Bonkowski with top pair. Laborda with a wheel draw. Laborda checks. Bonkowski now. 85,000.
He's got to love the flop. Bets it small. Laborda's poker posture is awful, and I believe it will hurt his game as he gets older.
So far, he's doing okay. Laborda with over 4 million chips.
Laborda doesn't slow play. He plays slowly, very slowly.
Life moves at a different pace in Brazil. There is the call.
That's a bad call, possibly the result of poor posture.
7 of diamonds on the turn. Laborda got no help. He's a 10-to-1 dog now.
It is possible Laborda does not have a chair, and he's simply hanging onto the table by the strength of his elbows.
He checks again.
Bonkowski again looking at a very nice board for top pair, top kicker. Bonkowski won his bracelet this year in limit hold'em.
The 27-year-old from Regina, Saskatchewan, putting some chips together. This time it is 240,000.
Well, I would think this would end the hand, but it's possible Laborda's mind at the moment is a million miles away. Actually, I believe Brazil is a million miles away from Las Vegas.
He could just be literally stuck to the rail, too.
Actually, I've just gotten word. One of our spotters has confirmed that Laborda indeed is not sitting in a chair. He's able to see the board courtesy of his left arm, which is propping up his entire body.
Well, Laborda putting together the chips to call, and that's what he does.
Another bizarre call from Laborda. I guess he's planning to bluff at it on the river. The man in the chair versus the man not in a chair.
All right, the river card, and no bluff needed. Laborda gets there, rivering the wheel.
Well, and I just fell out of my chair. A 4 on the river? Where do they get these decks?
So Laborda now figuring out, can he get anything from Bonkowski? Bonkowski has bet the whole way, so why not?
Oh, and he's been given a chair,
look at
Lon.
that.
What a late turnaround in this hand. First the 4, and now he's got a seat. Well, we know Laborda has the absolute nuts, and we know he's deliberate. I'm going to order some supper.
Laborda now reaching for the green chips, double-fisted. Oh, he wants to cut deep with this one. 1 million to Bonkowski.
Laborda overbets the pot, hoping Bonkowski thinks he's missed the heart flush draw.
Bonkowski, top pair, top kicker, second best.
And I feel for Bonkowski. I mean, if I'm Bonkowski now, I am completely mystified by the man in the cape with bad posture.
Tyler needs chips, and there's a very big carrot out there.
Good call.
He makes the call.
Call, showdown, please.
And Laborda will finally show in the nuts.
Laborda tabled his wheel like, of course I have the 3-5.
Oh, what a hit to Bonkowski. Hilton Laborda does it again. Bonkowski will ship almost all his orange chips across the table. Laborda now over $5.5 million. What an introduction Bonkowski just got to the flag-draped Brazilian. Whatever works at the main event. Phil Collins continues to reign as chip leader here in the Amazon room. Ryan Lenahan into second place. Now Hines and Lamb third and fourth. And Norman, the Brazilian with $5 million. Hilton Laborda.
No man wearing his national flag has ever won the main event. Watch out for Hilton.
Indeed. All right, as we get back to the feature table, the blinds up to 25 and 50,000. Eric Lindgren sits with 2.3 million, well below the chip average. Action on J.P. Kelly on the Jack Links Beef Jerky Hole Cam. Jack 9 of diamonds.
Just 24 years old, but with 12 World Series cashes.
He raises to 125,000. Brian Yoon with ace queen off.
Yoon majoring in economics at UCLA. If I were him, I'd switch my major to ace queen, and then he'd know to throw it away.
Well, he is thinking about playing this, and he does make the call.
Why is ace queen such a temptress?
Folded to Moshnikov with king queen of diamonds.
Moshnikov has been going fishing during breaks here. Lots of sturgeon in the Las Vegas River.
He makes the call.
I'm all in.
And Salzburg moves all in with ace king.
Salzburg, executive producer of Weeds on Showtime. Also worked on Entourage and Curb Your Enthusiasm.
His raise was to 945,000 total. Folded to Erica Motino in the big blind with 2 red 10s.
Pocket 10s, nice hand. But there are 4 players in the pot already. It's been 3-bet, and there's an all-in.
All in.
And she raises all in for over $1.2 million. Kelly gives up his hand quickly. Ace queen into the muck now for Yoon. Back to Moshnikov.
Boy, I don't know how Motino made that play.
Moshnikov folds, and so Salzburg will be at risk with his ace king.
I had an awfully good hand.
Motino trying to knock him out with the pocket 10s.
Now, Salzburg in a race for his main event life, but he's behind. I think he can easily curb his enthusiasm for Motino's call. Motino, girlfriend of David Doc Sands, who also is still alive in this main event. She'll have less than 6 big blinds left if she loses this race.
All right, here is the flop. Salzburg at risk, and there's a 10. Motino flops a set. Salzburg needs a Hollywood ending to stick around.
I don't think he's going to get the Hollywood ending. He's 1% to win this, baby.
Queen, Jack, right? They only can catch you.
Hey, you're supposed to be rooting for me.
No, I mean, you know.
Turn card, 5 of diamonds will end it. Salzburg will be leaving Las Vegas. That's Salzburg saying his goodbyes after being knocked out by Erica Motino. He wins over $108,000.
Salzburg stares down the board. It will not change.
Motino gambled, and it paid off.
What should call that?
17 people the first hour.
Come on, man. You did awesome. I know.
Tens.
Calls. Pocket tens. She played one tournament in her life, this girl.
2 callers.
3.
Yeah, it was huge.
Motino has worked behind the scenes on several TV shows. I don't think Salzburg will be calling her for lunch or work anytime soon.
On the road to the November 9, 2 former players of the year stayed the course.
Just wait till I get the 5s. Come on.
Matt Salzburg had the makings of a great story, but is headed back to LA with his entourage and a 70th place finish.
Calls with pocket tens.
And the race for last woman standing is now down to 2. Amanda Musumeci and Erica Motino. For Norman Chad and Kara Scott, I'm Lon McCarran. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Day 6 concludes next.